A blessed day, grade 11 students, and welcome to Earth Science first quarter module 3 and video tutorial 3. So this is again Director RJ S. Olarve. And before I have the discussion proper, so I would like to greet everyone. Congratulations. So maybe you're wondering why I am saying this. Congratulations to you. Hindi ka naman nanalo sa loto, sa wedding. Hindi ka naman napili sa raffle. Tama ba? And also, hindi ka rin naman crinashback ng crush mo. Joke lang. Pero bakit ko kaya kayo kino-congratulate? It so happened that the moment that you are listening and watching this video tutorial, I know that you are struggling a lot. I know that you are very challenged dito sa panibagong setup natin in the education system. And the fact that you are here right now watching this video tutorial, I know that you are doing the very best that you can in order for you to adapt and adjust in this new setup. And I'm very proud of you. That's why I'm saying this again. Congratulations. Keep it up. Because kahit na tayo ay nahihirapan, we are going to still stick on our objective, and our objective is to learn despite of this pandemic. And speaking again of objectives, so let us have now the lesson objectives. So in this lesson, you are expected to first recognize the uniqueness of Earth being the only planet in the solar system with properties supportive to life. Second, define the concept of a system. Third is to recognize the Earth as a system that is composed of subsystems. Fourth is to know the characteristics of each subsystems of the Earth. Fifth is to give examples of how each spheres affect one another. And lastly is to show appreciation of how humans must take care the spheres of the Earth. And as an introduction, so last module and video tutorial, we talked about that planet Earth is the only planet in the solar system that can host life. And given that fact, it seems that there are also those people who think that life was simply imported to Earth from alien. Naniniwala sila na parang inilagay lang dito yung life. That's why nagkaroon dito ng life. While other people thinks that life is a property of Earth. That the processes of our planet Earth tended towards life. Hence, life is said to be native and not transported or imported. Whichever view you entertain, what is not debatable is the fact that the planet Earth is the only planet in the solar system that can host and cater life. And now, the question is, what are the different factors that enable Earth to support life? And at this point in time, I am requesting you to please kindly get your module and a pen and listen very carefully so that you can fill in the blanks with the correct information. And let's proceed with the different factors that enable Earth to support life. Actually, there are 8 identified factors that enable Earth to support life. And what are these? And first is the right distance from the sun. We all know that Earth is neither too close nor too far from the sun. It is just of the right distance for water, which water is an indispensable inorganic substance for life, wherein that water exists in 3 physical forms, namely solid, liquid, and gas. And that is because of the right distance of planet Earth from the sun. Another thing is our planet is in the so-called Goldilocks zone from the sun, so that on balance it is neither too hot nor too cold for living things on its surface. So yung Goldilocks dito is hindi yung binibilhan mo ng cake, ba, or ng mga sweet foods, but this Goldilocks zone is a zone wherein located yung planet Earth, kung saan right yung distance niya kung bakit meron siyang temperature that is neither too hot nor too cold for living things on its surface. And this temperature enables Earth to support life. So that's number 1, the right distance of planet Earth from the sun. Next, let's have the presence of an atmosphere. So the presence of an atmosphere with all its associated gaseous components helps make life possible in our planet. And take note of the word ozone layer. So the ozone layer is a special layer at the atmosphere wherein it protects living things from the damaging ultraviolet rays from the sun. And also, The presence of the right amount of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases helps retain enough heat for living things. So ito na yung kapag nagkaroon ng too much na carbon dioxide and greenhouse gases sa atmosphere, natatrap na yung init. Kaya nga dapat is makaroon lang tayo ng right amount of carbon dioxide and greenhouse gases in order for the heat or enough heat to be retained to be used by the living things. Next, number 3 is the right amount of gravity. So Earth's gravity is a decisive factor for life existence. If it were weaker, so the moment na weaker yung gravity of the Earth, the atmosphere would have easily escaped into the outer space, providing no protection for emergent life. So ganun yung mangyayari kapag weaker yung gravity. Mawawala yung atmosphere, and pag walang atmosphere, walang ozone layer, wala magpro-protect sa mga living organisms at wala magtatrap dun sa init. And also, kapag naman the gravity is stronger, the planet would probably attracting meteors that would constantly impact its surface, creating an endless cataclysms, affording little and insufficient time for emergent life to exist. So yun naman yung mangyayari kapag sobrang lakas ng gravity ng planet Earth. So i-attract niya yung mga meteors na nasa outer space para tumama sa kanya. And by that time, kapag sobrang lakas, syempre, yung capability of planet Earth to support life will be insufficient. Next, number 4 is the presence of the magnetosphere. So without a magnetic field, the atmosphere and the surface of the planet would constantly be bombarded with the solar wind and cosmic particles, destroying any emergent life forms. And this magnetosphere is a special sphere wherein the magnetic field of the planet reduces the particles from the sun less harmful as the sun ejects dangerous substantial portion of its corona in a process called the coronal mass ejection. Kasi itong si sun, mag-eject yun ng mga harmful substances, and ang gagawin ni magnetosphere, i-reduce na yung mga particles na yun para na sa ganun is malesen yung pagtama nito sa planet Earth. And that's the importance of the magnetosphere. Number 5 is the presence of the molecular oxygen. So it seems needless to say that without oxygen or molecular oxygen, life on Earth would be inconceivable. When we say inconceivable, imposible talagang mag-exist ang buhay without oxygen. And also, molecular oxygen supports respiration, which is needed for energy production, a constant requirement for living things. So take note that all living things must undergo the process of respiration, and ang oxygen is kailangan para mag-undergo yung process of respiration. Another thing about molecular oxygen is that it is also involved in many reduction, oxidation, or the what we call redox reactions that are taking place in plants. So that's number 5, the presence of molecular oxygen. Next, let's have the presence of the liquid water. So water is actually abundant in space and on other planets, but not in a form or state that is necessary to life. And sabi nga natin kanina, so water exists in 3 forms such as liquid, solid, and gas. And those 3 forms enable water to sustain life on Earth. And also, water is essential to life. We all know that because water is a site and medium of biological reactions, and it acts as a raw material for photosynthesis and a component of cell. So para mag-undergo yung plants ng photosynthesis, kailangan niya ng water, and also component din siya ng cell structure. So that's number 6, the presence of liquid water. Number 7 is the generation of internal heat. And this factor is one of the Earth's neglected characteristics that is constantly generating heat. So from the time na pinanganak ang planet Earth, continuous na nag-generate yan ng heat internally. And the internal heat is also responsible for the geological processes evident on the surface of the Earth, such as mountain formation, volcanisms, and plate tectonics movement. And the generation of that internal heat is through the help of the what we call mantle convection, or in other words is the convection current. And those processes are also important to life because volcanoes release ammonia, methane, and other gases into the primitive atmosphere. So dahil nagkaroon ng generation of internal heat, nagkaroon ng formation of the volcanoes, and volcanoes are going to release ammonia, methane, and other gases which are primitive to the atmosphere. And also, the gases that are mentioned earlier were the raw materials for the biosynthesis of simple organic compounds that underwent evolution to form biomolecules such as lipids, carbohydrates, proteins, and nucleic acids that are essential to living cells. And the last factor that enable Earth to support life is energy from lightning. So it provides the energy for the formation of biomolecules from simple inorganic and inorganic compounds such as water, methane, ammonia, and hydrogen gas that became abundant in the primitive Earth. And just a recap for the factors that enable Earth to support life. Number one, the right distance of planet Earth from the sun. Second, presence of an atmosphere, right amount of gravity, the presence of magnetosphere, the presence of molecular oxygen, the presence of liquid water, generation of internal heat, and the energy from lightning. So these are the identified factors that enable Earth to support life. So that ends our discussion regarding the different factors that enable Earth to support life. And with that, are there things that are unclear to you? If yes, feel free to contact me for questions and clarifications at any of this contact information. So FB account RJ Solis Olarve, Gmail disciplerj at gmail.com. Cell phone number is 0975-705-1548. And just a reminder that whenever you eat or drink or do anything else, always do it to honor God. So from 1 Corinthians 10:31. So keep it up, grade 11 students, and see you on our Zoom meeting this week. God bless.